On today's episode, I get to drive Adams Motorsport Park for the first time. And I might have crashed. My good friend Julian wanted to really drive Adams Motorsport Park to check it out as a future venue for Super D Cup. I'd never driven to Adams before, so I was definitely down to come there and help him test. Adams Motorsport Park is in Riverside, California, and it's actually the closest track to my house. It's a great place to hone your skills. It was cool because this was going to be one of the first days that I was going to be able to get feedback from other drifters on my driving.
Hey dude!
How you doing?
How are you doing?
So you throwing some Chucky?
Also, this is going to be the first time drifting post replacing the knock sensor, so the car should be running 100% and making more power. Traditional Adams Motorsport Park layout for drifting is clockwise. It starts with a straight into a sweeping right-hand corner, into a chicane. I was having a really hard time with the right-hand corner. I knew that my line wasn't right through the corner, but I found out from riding along with Julian that I wasn't carrying enough speed either. I would get to the middle of the corner and start to understeer and run out of momentum.
See, that's better. I think entering earlier put you on the right line sooner.
Yeah, that's true.
So something I started working on was entering at the top of second. Julian was entering in third and downshifting to second, and that was working really well for him. I'm not quite there yet, so I was just trying to enter at the top of second, doing a couple quick handbrake pulls, and then back on top. About midway through the corner, I would start to correct for the second apex, transition through the chicane, and then transition out through the other side of the chicane. It's nice to have Brandon Cotto there from Hoonigan filming.
For like 3 minutes, and then
Because this is the first time I'm able to look at footage from the outside of the car to see what I'm doing wrong. So I can dissect my line through certain corners and see what mistakes I made. Towards the end of the day, the other thing I started to work on was my entry. I was trying to get the car to flick a little bit more rather than just relying on the e-brake pull. I was also trying to get 2 small, quick e-brake pulls instead of 1 long drag. There's a couple times I got it and it felt super good. By the end of the day, I felt really good, and it was cool to see my friends noticing that I was improving. I did have a crash into the tires, which is also a success because it was a first for me. I was sliding through the corner, ran out of momentum, understeered, and went straight into the tires. About 3 or 4 tires got wedged underneath, so I had to pull them out by hand and then get Julian's car to tow me out. It was a good learning lesson, but I was also glad that I was going for it. I like to think that my driving style is driving as hard as I can on every run, and I feel like I get the most noticeable benefit and maximize my seat time from doing that. I was also stoked to see the replay of some of my entries because I was right on the wall. I actually lost my bumper from grazing the wall. Having the knowledge of where the rear end of the car is actually something I learned from playing circle jerks at Hoonigan. 2 years ago, 3 years ago driving, I had no concept of where the rear end of the car was to feel confident enough to put it within a foot of a wall. Now, it's something that I feel comfortable doing run after run. So the Adams Drift Day was a huge success in my books. It was so good to be able to get the car out for a second time and to really learn a lot. Also, there's a lot of things that I took away from it that I want to improve for next time. I want to work on snappier entries and getting the car to weight rotate. I want to work on doing earlier entries and extend things with the e-brake. I want to keep working on clutch kick transitions and keeping my revs up when I clutch in. Julian had some really good feedback for me and helped me notice some things I was doing unintentionally. Dude, thank you for the tips, man. It made so much sense. What's really cool too was watching my friends in really basic cars have a blast. Riding along with Julian chasing Hert was so rad. Julian was able to be so close to Hert through all the corners, and Hert was driving without power steering, which is not easy.
I've already had more fun than I've had all year.
I was super happy for Hert because he was finally able to get some seat time. He's been rebuilding his RX-7 for the past year, so he hasn't been able to drive as much as he wanted.
Safe drive back. Later.
Since this knockoff Rocket Bunny kit's pretty well trashed on the purple S14, it's time hopefully for an exterior refresh as well. If you have some ideas, maybe comment them below. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Later.